Okay, welcome to the first of two of what I'm just calling my epic length commentaries, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But first, let me explain a couple of technical issues that explain why these episodes are the way they are. Well, there are two things you need to know. First thing is the best thing about Fraps is actually also the worst thing about Fraps, and that is that it captures everything going on your monitor, sound and all, in one file with no lag or anything, and imperfect HD quality. But of course, this means that you have a bunch of huge files since it was captured that way. So you can end up using up almost all your hard drive space if you end up without thinking playing an epic play session. And that's what happened to me. I ended up 2 days in a row in just epic play sessions where I found myself not putting the game down until I realized just how long I've been playing. Now, that in itself doesn't explain why these episodes are so long, but thankfully YouTube now has a feature where it remembers where you left off on the video file, so you can always use that. But here's the other issue. Every time you process a video file, it loses some of its quality, and that's why some of the ones that I've had to do repeated edits and fixes to look like complete garbage, because they've been through editing programs multiple times. So I don't like, going in and putting it through multiple times and putting a video file through the processor too many, getting it processed too many times if I can avoid it. So I needed to clear up hard drive space fast, which meant converting the AVI files left over from Fraps to the MP4 files that YouTube accepts. So, and if I did that too many times, it would just completely degrade. So I had to just process them all at once because I really needed the hard drive space cleared. So that's what happened, and that's why you have this one that's 2.5 hours, and the next episode is 3 hours long. Sorry about that, but hey, I'm with you all the way through it if that helps. If my hideous voice and appearance at the end of these is any help. But yeah, those are the technical reasons these exist. That said, there is some good stuff in them, and I did try to edit parts of them down. It's just yeah. I mean, I think that this episode took about 18 hours to process as is, and plus you add on probably another 2 or 3 hours. I was editing the various video files. Then the next episode, I know I spent a whole day just in editing, and then it took around, I think, like 28 hours to actually process, for the video file to actually be processed. So yeah, I feel your pain.
You clean up well, Mr. Solomon.
See what I mean? Shepard's outfit gets a lot better. It's not the
I assume Solomon Gunn is
knockoff of Dash Render, who was a knockoff of Han Solo. So yeah, I like this, so I don't tend to change after this if I'm Paragon Shepard, because I can't see Paragon Shepard wanting to wear the Cerberus logo. or even Renegade Shepherd if you're playing as him, and he's got the sole survivor background where all his men were killed, where everyone under his command was killed by Cerberus except for one traumatized guy. So I tend to go with the Dash Render knockoff outfit as much as I hate it. It looks like if I don't know. It looks like the worst of Rob Liefeld inspired art to me. That's my only issue with Zaid. I like the character, I like the mission, but the design of his costume, again, at least the Unreal Free, at least in this, unlike Unreal Free and and Gears of War, the character proportions aren't inspired by Liefeld's artwork as well. They're actually somewhat realistic. See what I mean? I don't see the problem with these graphics. People are complaining about last-gen graphics look terrible. I'm sorry, I keep going on about this, but it seems like every day I'm reading some article, I'm running into somebody talking about how last-gen graphics can't be put up with it, and it's just like, really? Because, look, I could read every emotion. I could read the emotions on her face. I could read her face. Maybe I'm just a bit too old, but, I remember when I was getting attached to characters in,
There seems to be an issue with the statue.
PS1, Final Fantasy games, and, Dragon Quest games, where the character's face is nothing but a blur of pixels that vaguely sort of resemble the idea of a face, but you can't read it, and there aren't any expressions actually on the faces. So, to me, that and the fact that, you can now have realistic weather patterns in games and such, and you look up at the sky and you can see, in some games, and you can see, lightning streaking through it. To me, yes, I don't mind seeing better graphics and seeing things move on, and yeah, they're gonna bring out new consoles every 5 years. They better have something to offer and all that stuff, but I don't mind this as a baseline from which to start, and if a system only does this, if a $200 system this is all it does, like the Wii U, I can live with that very, very easily. I mean, nowadays when you combine DLC, I mean that's only what you spend. That's close to being only what you spend on one game. So, yeah. I can live with that, because it's just barely more than you spend. Oh, this is one of my favorite missions on the game, because it just adds variety. There are just a bunch of new things to do, but you want to make sure your Paragon, or I think there's only a Paragon option actually. Or is there a Renegade? I can't remember. But before you talk to him, you want to make sure you do this late enough that your Paragon and Renegade points are high enough. And you see what I mean? See, the colors seem slightly off, and everything looks blurred. That's because this went through the video editor about, 4 times. So you see, it's lost quite a bit of quality in just that amount of video editing, and that is fully digital. I'm not recording this analogically or anything. It's just fully digital on the same hard drive, but it just comes from processing it and getting it down to a size that's less than... this and the next episode were taking up around 400 gigabytes on my hard drive when I was done recording them, something like that. So, yeah, so I had to, but you see, even with me limiting it, you still lost some color and some definition. So, I didn't want to do it again.
Have to go chat up Hawk for that.
I highly recommend, by the way, that you watch these Let's Plays. I probably should have put this on the first episode of Mass Effect 1, but I highly recommend
And the
that.
better?
To me, it doesn't look very watchable. I've tried it, but it's not very watchable on the tiny little, screen that's default on YouTube. I highly recommend that you watch this, in the full screen mode, where it takes up your whole monitor, because that's the way the game is played, and it's like in a spot, and it's like trying to watch a movie on a wristwatch. It's like on a wrist. It would be like, why would you do that? Yeah. See, scan this. Yep. I just love doing this undercover stealthy stuff. It adds a nice change of pace. And I'm not very good at games like Mass Effect. Not Mass Effect. Metal Gear Solid. The other M game. The other big game that's name begins with M. Or one of. There's also Metroid. How many big game franchises are there with the name that begins with M? Well, there's Mega Man 2. There's Mega Man. So, yeah, that's 4 at least. It's a Tom Clancy game. Sam Fisher, I think, is the character, but that, and she takes care of the lock here. Here's what I don't get. She takes care of the lock here, and then I have to hack it. So I think, yeah, I did a jump cut there. What gets me is no matter how stealthy you play it, you still have to shoot these guys, and yet nobody right out there seems to hear this. There is an alarm that goes off when you shoot somebody in the security headquarters. That's my only problem, is there isn't a way to do this by stealth, like hacking their computer system. Or, I mean, you'd think there'd be a way to remotely hack it or something in the future. But I guess they were smart and didn't put their computers with top secret data on the internet.
Huh.
Hook them up to the regular internet, or put Wi-Fi into buildings, unlike, say, our government, who's wondering how to protect our vital facilities from hackers. And my idea has always been, here's the thing, why not just put it on a private wired network, and then have whatever these vital assets are guarded, so that somebody actually has to break in with considerable force, setting off alarms in order to hack in, because they'd have to actually physically splice into networking cables and risk disabling the network. Okay, there is a renegade option, but you need your renegade or paragon points up to about a quarter of full in order to get him talking long enough to get the audio samples you need. Why does he have come on, why couldn't Kasumi have been with us when we went to Ilos? So that, somebody could have recorded, so that somebody would have thought to use the Omni tool to record what Vigil said, so that there wouldn't be any question so that nobody would be able to question it. And then, if the council refused to drag its heels, we could just release the audio or video recording you had onto the internet. I think they call it the extra. Yeah, they call it the extranet here, which I don't understand why in science fiction there are all these futuristic names for the internet, especially since the only difference seems to be that that they tend to put some virtual reality with it in some science fiction, or it's just going, here is me like an idiot forgetting where I'm supposed to go, or it's just the internet, but going between planets. Why on earth would that change anything?
I have authorization from Chief Rowe.
Okay, 1 second. Chief Rowe, Samuels. Have you given access authorization to Mr. Hawk's private rooms?
They have access, Samuels. Now stop bothering me.
Got it. Sorry to bother you, ma'am.
What?
Okay. Enjoy the party.
Awfully tight, but also light security at the same time. This guy wouldn't let people go poking around my, I would just say, if anybody says they have authorization, I don't care who they have backing them up, they don't. Just FYI. I don't like people going snooping through my bedroom or anything.
The credit shit.
Yeah, this crime lord is fine.
It's a plant.
I love the fact that they added more banter to the talking in the DLC for this game. And they do, and to be 100% fair to Mass Effect 3, that kind of carries over into Mass Effect 3, but
Too bad. A cigarette butt would have been a good.
but then that only makes me wish more of the characters from this got more of a cameo appearance in that game.
Looks like he's missing something. He hasn't cracked the encryption yet.
Whoops. That's gotta be one of the more annoying alarms I've ever heard. What happened to the radio just gently waking you up with, you know, with
We can
just
get some skin cells from the dust. It's probably contaminated though. We should find
contaminated
another
with
sample.
what? Wouldn't any DNA sample you gave at the site be contaminated too?
Sample here.
I mean, unless it's taking a bunch of his blood, in which case, where are you getting blood? Does any of his stuff have blood on it? Oh well. All joking aside, I really do like this.
We can probably get Hawk's DNA off the data pad. He seems to have obsessed over this. Let's get
Yeah,
out of here.
he obviously has OCD. So then you just go back up to the bolt that I showed you and hit all the buttons. I didn't think it was necessary to show you Shepard walking all the way here. This episode is long enough as it is. Wait.
I'll check for security cams.
Wait. You're only checking out what? I'd have security cameras outside of the vault, too. And how does that help? They've already seen you. Oh well. I don't know, I'm just remembering the old episodes of Mission Impossible, the TV show, you know, where they worked as a team and it wasn't one superstar dominating everything. Where if they had to take out security cameras, they'd always get in and take them out before anybody set foot in the area that they were trying to conduct a mission in. That way, you know, there wasn't any visual record of them, and the secretary wouldn't have to disavow all knowledge. Which, does anybody know what the secretary is secretary of in Mission Impossible? I know the show, and I've seen lots of episodes,
So
but I
this
don't
is
remember it
Hawk's
ever being mentioned who they answer to.
This
If
is
you
another
watch
phone
this
number.
and
It's not
on
phone.
YouTube, and you don't mind, and you got to this point with my hideous voice and my stupidity.
Even outside the
Wait,
phone.
you.
Sorry, go nuts for
If anything in the future, wouldn't Egyptian statues become even more rare? So what do you mean still get money?
David.
The rarer something gets, the more money you can get for it. That's just a rule. So if for anything, so what's up with this still?
Hawk has good
And
taste.
statues that
Give him that.
and the statues, even if we do everything that can possibly be done to preserve them,
I guess everything's
statues
valuable to
will just crumble on their own after time. That's called. It's just
someone. This
so
looks like
there-
Orion script.
so in 200 to 300 years,
This has got to be
the
Orion.
statues
When was
are
the
going to
last
be
time Orion
rarer,
wrote on stone?
if anything.
Doesn't look like much, but that might be one of the most valuable pieces here. Turian art is rare outside.
I
of
can
Harvard.
see why. They're all obviously hipsters just putting, what, 3 pieces of garbage together and calling it a day? How much time or skill did that take?
A model of the Kara. It's like a
And
Turian
yeah,
mechanic.
as somebody who can't draw a straight line, I usually have a lot of respect for anyone who can do anything artistic, but
Imagine that thing
that's-
coming at you in a
that-
dark alley.
I mean, come on. I'm not getting
This is
I'm not getting
embarrassing.
paid, and I don't think anybody has watched any of these, and yet, when I think of how many hours work I'm putting into each of these Let's Plays, get them here with and without commentary. It just, I don't know. It just makes me mad, is all.
How did Hawk get Lady Liberty's head?
Well, the aliens from Independence Day obviously took it, and he got it from them. And I didn't want to touch that because I already have a gun I like better, and you get this gun at the end of the mission anyway, regardless of whether or not you touch it here.
Yes.
But it ends up replacing one of my replacing one of my other guns that I already liked, so I didn't want to touch it. So yeah, I didn't want to touch it, but you can take that gun there, and it's not a bad gun. It's a really good gun, but what is code block?
I had a feeling that was you at the door.
Allow me to slur my speech worse than Star Trek fans at a Walter Koenig impersonation impression. Please, 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 just say nuclear vessels. Nuclear vessels. Come on, you know you want to say it. Everybody who's ever done a fake Russian accent wants to say it. Yeah, that'll teach him. That'll learn him. That was on loan from another... That was on loan from a museum's collection for this party I was returning. I was supposed to return it tomorrow morning! And it's one of the few pieces of art left over from a long-lost alien culture. So yeah, these are some of the tougher... These are actually tougher than the collectors, if you ask me. These hardcore, you know, Eclipse mercs here. You encounter them later on in the game again, and for base enemies that aren't boss type at all, these do a lot more damage, and they act a little smarter. They react a little smarter and with a little more coherence than the collectors, who are supposed to be the big bads of the game. And I'm not complaining because they were obviously put here for the DLC, which obviously assumes that you beat. Which, since you know the DLC came out. First, yeah, you fight your way through a bunch of mercs, then you get up here, and you fight this boss battle, where you basically clear a path. Yeah, you have to fight a bunch of guys. This ship comes up. It has rechargeable shields, so basically what you have to do is you have to kill all the enemies on the ground, and I don't remember how much of this I left edited in. I'm watching this cold, right now, because it's been a couple of weeks, and, it's been probably 3 weeks since I first edited this video file the first time, so don't blame... So I guess, oh yeah, you can totally blame me because I'm the one who forgot, but I guess what I'm saying is, please try to understand how I could possibly forget where I put the edits, but, yeah, after a while, because you have to keep blasting through waves of these guys. If you don't take it out in a certain amount of time after... Because only Kasumi can take down the shields, so you have to have her up, so make sure you have plenty of meta gel to keep her up and going, so that she can take out its shields, and then, yeah, you see how fast those shields came back on. And then you just blast it with whatever your heavy weapons are. So, yeah, I never know what type of ammo to take, because you have the robots who are affected by the disruptor ammo, but you also have the Eclipse, which are affected by the flame ammo. I just like seeing things burst into flames, so I kept the flame ammo. But either one of them's a valid choice. But yeah, here she goes. And if you don't take it out in a certain amount of time, it goes and it recovers its shields, and then you have to blast away at the guys again and before he recovers. So, again, this is another thing where I like that collector particle beam, because he'll have minions on the ground, and if there are a lot of minion enemies along with the boss type, then the other best weapon, in my opinion, the rocket launcher, has a tendency to auto-lock. It uses auto-lock, which normally works, but it can accidentally lock on to the little guys on the ground, like there. So, I fought this guy before, and I just find this, even though I have to get up from cover, this to be more effective, because I'm just like, well, here's, what I have to do. You see, after all this, instead of something I could only dream of as a kid. Okay, I'll shut up about the graphics, okay? I'm not normally a graphics expert, but I do find what can be done nowadays kind of breathtaking, and it adds to my immersion in the game. Did I manage to cut this correct? Yeah. Why do we call these gray boxes? And how on earth do you hook one of these up to your brain, anyway? And why do I say... At least they seem to have kept USB, even if it has gotten bulkier. At least it seems reliable. It doesn't se it always seems to work in the Mass Effect universe.
It's because I'm dead.
Because this somehow got out of my hands and
Alliance could be implicated. Kasumi, I encrypted the information.
and I
to
care.
the safe,
Oh, that is.
and I uploaded the encryption key to your gray box, so no one could get the whole package.
Unless they got you.
And if anyone knows about this,
If it was important that this information never come out, why didn't you just erase it? Why did you even put it on a gray box? Why not just erase it and then nobody has any reason to come after you?
I'll always be with you.
Just an idea. Although, again, to be fair to Mass Effect 3, which I know it probably sounded like from especially the last game I've been focused on the negative there, but again, to Mass Effect 3's credit, this becomes a this actually gets called back in that game in the main game, not as some herky-jerky piece of DLC. But to its discredit, it took them about a month to get the game patched so the mission wouldn't bug out, and I think it only worked perfectly on my computer once I got the happy ending mod, because that had to make some changes to some other things, and otherwise the mission was just glitching out and not allowing the mission to end. The mission just wouldn't end and go into its last phase as Mass Effect 3 shipped, which again, that tells me when a major mission that is a callback to a main character glitches like that, that tells me the game was rushed. Okay, so here you see my major disappointment, which is after you do the loyalty mission, you don't get any additional conversations with either of the two DLC characters. Now, again, to be fair, these pieces of DLC are already a gigabyte in size, and they do offer some nice variety of gameplay and as I said in Zaid's loyalty mission, it does add some depth, a lot, and I mean a lot of moral and emotional depth to the story. So I can't complain too much. But it would have been nice to have a little more time with these characters, because while I get the idea that I know them, all the other characters you get to see how your actions actually change them, and that's one of the things that actually makes if you play this game going down the Jack romance path, if you're playing as male Shepard, interesting, because she probably changes the most out of all the characters, so that's nice to see. But yeah. To British people, that line meant something completely different. I don't understand why the bar is just in one person's quarters. She must have a lot of traffic through here, given that we're on a suicide mission. I would assume Garrus being on the same floor. I'm assuming she's always having to throw Garrus out of here. And, here, whereas when you drink with, Dr. Chakwas, it causes you to go into this, like, drunk phase until you go to the next floor where you're sort of like, where everything's sort of like off kilter and spinning, and it does that cool effect. Yeah, that effect is missing here.
That painting has a special place in my heart. An art collector hired me to steal it. When I got there, the painting was gone. On the way out, I saw it being hauled off by another thief. I chased him down, tackled him, and took the
Here's what I want to know. If anybody knows how professional art thieves work, how on earth do they haul stuff out? A painting seems like a painting or a sculpture or anything that you'd find in an art gallery. Most of it that I've ever seen seems like it would be really bulky, and it's like art heists from museums always have to be combined with some sort of incompetence or insider information from security. And here, from security, it would seem to me, because otherwise, I just don't see. I mean, if anything is that size, just check anything that size, the size of any of your art pieces that's leaving the museum. Or, give them...
Who instructed you to waive the fees?
The order came from Liara Tassoni, who paid all fees on your behalf.
Well, that's good, because I'm still ripping off people's safes to get money just to buy the upgrades I need to not die on this mission. Which, the elusive man was talking about how important I am and how many resources Cerberus has. Maybe he should have thrown some of them into, I don't know,
At the same time,
giving us all paychecks of some kind, so that we could,
For your own safety, however, I recommend against signing anything.
What's so dangerous about signing something?
Have you ever been locked into a cell phone contract? It's murder!
Requirements are more relaxed here than on other planets. It's a small price to pay for keeping our competitive edge in goods from the Terminus systems.
You mentioned trading.
Anytime there's a space like that, keep in mind somebody must have started talking to me while I was in the middle of playing, and then and recording it for fraps, and then I was like, oh shoot.
Most drugs are legal, provided
And I didn't.
labeled properly.
Yeah, that also probably means I didn't feel it.
You can even buy indentured servants.
Do you have any recommendations about what to do on Nos Astra?
Our trading center is directly ahead.
And there's there's a really good arcade. We've got Call of Duty Black Ops 967. And yes, that does mean that I assume that they're going to start at some point in the future releasing free to 5 Call of Duty games every year. But I wouldn't be surprised.
You said Liara was here? What's she doing?
I'm not sure you really want to know. I wish I didn't know. I wish nobody knew. But it's sick, man. It's sick.
She was looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Again, welcome to our city, Commander. Please enjoy your stay.
And by midriff in this ridiculous stress, I'm not even sure how it stays up. Somebody, I sometimes don't get that. How I don't know. The physics of clothing in video games and comics. But yeah, you can go right to a piece of DLC here, but I recommend against that because there are 2 missions that Liara gives you that build up to it, so it feels more dramatically correct to do those first. Just if you're doing something like this and you want it to feel like logical progression of storytelling.
Towers, traffic, lights, and Asari everywhere you look. I thought about living here for a while, but everybody's so tight-ass. It's all about money to these people. I do what I do for the love of it. These people do it because they don't know any better.
25.
The attack on the human colony of Freedom's Progress has generated a swift but confused response.
There are rescue ships have been sent, but a lot of them have asked, where on Earth is Freedom's Progress? And why on Earth did they name it that?
Excuse me, are you Commander?
This builds up into the 3rd game, although The third game then promptly ignores this.
I'd recognize you anywhere.
It pretty much ignores this because, well, I'll get to, well, that's a rant for another day.
It's from a friend you made on Novaria.
What message were you asked to give?
I love it that one of your questions is, who's that? Who was the only other person left alive at that base on Novaria when you were done?
But we know that you seek those who soured the songs of our mothers.
Yeah, we will get that, Simon Cowell. Just you wait.
Will burn the darkness clean. Thank you, Shepherd. The Rachni will sing again because of you.
I'm glad to hear that you're rebuilding. Are you somewhere close
The Rachni Queen is not here. That message is one of many memories I carry from her. I encountered her on an uncharted world. She saved my life.
Sing again. She said sing again. I'm trying to figure out what they would
They are
sing.
amazing people, Shepherd. The galaxy owes you a great debt for giving them a second
That joke
chance.
needs to be taken out back and shot.
How did you find the Rachni?
I was working as a courier. Pirates ambushed my ship, and I was forced down on an uncharted planet. I was badly injured, alone, and near death. Then they found me. They
Now
saved
I'm
me.
now I didn't die, but I'm in massive debt. You don't believe what the medical bills were
Countless
like.
workers repaired my ship. It runs better now than it did before. They remind me of the keepers on the Citadel.
Again,
when
another subtle
all
hint
worked
that
together
the
with a purpose.
well, not so subtle in this case since they just came out and said it. Is it really subtext anymore if it's as plain as the nose on your face? Okay, spoilers for the new Star Wars movie. 1, 2, 3. This annoys me in the new Star Wars movie too. Are we really supposed to know that Rey isn't Luke's daughter just because she doesn't tell anybody her last name?
They are so beautiful.
It's obvious Han and Leia know who she is.
Needed someone to purchase things they cannot make themselves.
And she's just in a state of denial or something, I guess.
If you
I don't
will,
know.
I am
But
happy to help.
But everybody's acting like it's this big mystery and it's only a fan theory that she's Luke's daughter. Who else could she be?
Thank
I
you for
mean,
giving me that information.
There,
I'm glad
there,
my friend
there, there,
Novaria
there
is
isn't
doing
anybody else who's a candidate to be her parents. If they just they'd have to just then create some older characters out of nowhere in the next movie and say that they are her parents, and that just wouldn't be dramatically correct.
How can
And-
the shorts very few Quarians ever set foot here?
Because they have
Only allowed
taste.
the flotilla to
Have you?
approach
This
from
is
a
just
certain
tacky.
distance. This is the greatest planet in the galaxy for those who can afford it. And they work
For
hard
those who
to
can
keep
afford
Quarians
the whole
away.
planet, I would assume that's a very small number of people.
Holy crap.
Oh yes, I forgot she was in this. I like this callback. I love
You were
this.
dead. What happened? No, wait, probably classified.
I love the fact
Forget
that
it.
she's the only one who just assumes that, hey, your mission might be secret. You know?
You helped
Uh,
me nail Administrator Analytics.
Happy to
So,
help.
yeah, I'm not gonna bother asking, because what you'd tell me would probably not be true anyway.
Won't tolerate. He got caught taking their money.
You know,
He
because,
served a few years in white-collar prison. More importantly, he won't work in the field again. Sit down.
from now on, he'll be stuck working in dreary office buildings. That'll learn him. No more work getting into fields.
You ever heard of the Collectors? They're attacking human colonies. I'm gonna stop them.
Damn, Shepard. For me, a
Yeah,
tough
why
job
would I
involves
hide
more
that?
paperwork.
Wow. Yeah, you don't set yourself small tasks, I'll give you that.
Hey, listen, I just remembered something. I've gotta go. Talk to you later. And don't forget to drink your beer.
Yeah, your clear beer. Is it possible to make clear beer? I don't know. I don't drink alcohol because because of my personality type. I know it would be very easy for me to get addicted to something like that. So I've never given it cigarettes, drugs, or anything like that a try because I don't want to get want to take the chance of getting addicted to something. But so I have no idea. But
I plan to
again,
drop a lot of credits today.
if anybody ever anywhere
Fitting
watches
routine for a
this,
dangerous
and you
mission,
just
but I
happen to
need the
know
person
whether
willing
it's
to pay
possible
for
or
it,
not to make
as long as
clear
you work
beer,
with me.
let me know.
Well, perhaps I could give you a preferred rate at the
Because even when the
kiosk.
glasses are supposed to
Sure,
be
a
full in
small
this, they
discount, and when I
still
get special items in,
it
you can
seems to
take a
be
look.
some sort of clear liquid. So
What kind of
just
special
wondering.
items are we talking about?
Oh, you know, schematics, designs, nothing illegal.
But it,
I
but
do not have all
but
the licenses to sell them.
Do you have anything else? Anything not listed on your main merchandise
just
kiosk?
these Death Star plans.
There is one thing.
But I'm not
The
sure
advanced
anybody's
design
interested in
isn't
them.
publicly available yet.
That's because it's still in development.
But many
on Novaria
boffins died to
and
bring me
illegal
those
for export.
plans.
Hello, Hermia.
Parsini, you set me up. But this isn't Novaria.
Trying to
You have the
remember.
authority to arrest
I
me.
know those are
I don't care
those
whether you
two
go to
names
jail.
are
I've got all
references
the
to
evidence
Greek
I need to find
mythology.
you
I'm
out
just
of the
trying.
US.
I mean, they're not exact.
Do you
They're
have the
not
authority to seize
exactly
the
those
schematics you're
names,
trying to
but I
sell?
know the
I don't have to.
main
Hermia was
bits
under
of those
suspicion.
names
All you
are
faulty devices
references to
do.
Greek
All
mythology,
ever do is blow up in your face.
and
I need to go. I
as
have
a
to talk to my lawyer.
self-taught and proclaimed history buff, who people often come to me with their questions about
You won't be able to afford them.
history, and can usually tell you these
That was
things,
good. I've got to go file a few papers. Come by my table
and
in a
who
minute.
can say.
Hermia is going to be
And
a
who
very
can tell
important
people
one
I'm not a
very
sailor in
shortly.
Latin. I'm kind of
That's
embarrassed that I
Shepherd.
can't remember what
I
that's
love
what
nailing
those two
sorry.
names
So
are a
ageless
reference
and
to.
superior.
What
Then you
both
get
these
them and
character
they
names are a
squeal like
reference to.
schoolgirls.
It must be nice having a job that you really enjoy.
Unlike
I
me,
wanted to be
I
a spy,
swear, when I get done with this, I'm getting my GED. No more grunt work for me. Admiral Hackett, the elusive man, can take this job and shove it right up there. Okay, more than I need to know about you. Sorry, I shouldn't have gotten you drinking. I see that now.
How'd you end up on Novaria anyway?
Scholarship program.
I was gonna say complete.
internship.
I was gonna say
Turns
complete
out I was
accident,
only
because I can't
weak
imagine
in
anybody
science,
wanting to
but
live in that
always very high spirits.
in that
War and secretly
that
rich
garbage
kids,
dump of a
good at
planet.
hiding yourself.
I mean, did you see that place? Brr.
It must be
Still,
hard
I like
going
cold
undercover
better
so
than
long.
heat.
It's not so bad.
You know,
New places,
with
new
heat,
people.
you can't do
The only real
much
problem is when you go home and
other than get
can't
inside and
work
turn on the air
because you
conditioning.
don't know
With
how to
cold,
react.
they can
Like
just
it's
put on a
another
cold
cover, you know?
coat.
Deep down,
Cold?
part of you likes
Yes. Whenever I get cold, I wear a young
Class.
horse.
Now
I
was
wear a
so
young
powerful,
horse.
taking notes
Oh,
and
I
getting
make a
notes.
young
And
horse
you never see me coming.
warm me. I slice him open like a
What's up next
tauntaun
then?
and wear them.
Research. We've had some hacking attacks lately, and I want to make sure they're external. A lot of people are suddenly interested in dark energy. My bosses want to know if it's something to worry about. That'll hold me over until I have to go
Yeah,
back
you see
undercover
another reference
anyway.
to dark energy, and then it doesn't
It's been a
really
pleasure.
play that big a role in
You too,
Mass
Shepard.
Effect
See
3,
you
which
around.
is another sign that the ending to that game was massively rewritten.
Oh, hell with it. Mwah.
Not sure how she managed to do that through the battle armor, but
Take care of yourself,
I
Shepard.
love that it stays that way. Now this is just a thing where I'm not sure a game could know if how to change a cutscene for what armor you were wearing, but still, I love it but still, a part of me does love watching when it doesn't change the cutscene for your armor when it makes no sense with the armor that you're wearing. I mean, and I am definitely not possessed by a lesser demon. Totally not.
It's really an honor to work with her.
What's Liara's reputation here on Ilium?
Yeah, she's horrible. Worst boss I've ever had, actually. I think she's being investigated by every law enforcement body on the planet.
She already wields, if she weren't so focused on her personal goals.
And again, you don't want to know what those are.
Not me.
You really don't.
Of course, Commander.
That sounded so sarcastic. Did she used to work at Walmart? Because I swear that was an old coworker of mine. That tends to be. Oh, I love this though. That there is a plot arc here that
With my mind.
you sort of let her. You sort of guided her in the first game to realizing her potential beyond just sitting alone and looking at relics. But now, without any sort of mentor, she's sort of gone dark. She's sort of on the path to the dark side, subtly. If you notice, that's the exact same line her mother used when she threatened
You have sources now?
Shepard on Novaria back in the first game. Again, another callback to the Rachni Queen subplot in that game. And, yeah. Yeah, this is what Anakin's fall to the dark side should have been. It should have been a little bit by little bit thing where Obi-Wan wasn't up to teaching him, and
Neither is you being alive, Shepard.
where Obi-Wan wasn't up to completely teaching and controlling him, and he sort of little bit by little bit fell to the dark side trying to get things done.
There's an Asari named Samara here on Iliad.
Yeah, I decided to go after Samara first.
Samara. Yes. She arrived recently and registered with Tracking Officer Dara. You can find Dara at the transportation hub.
What in the world is it? And what on earth is a tracking officer anyway?
No. In fact, she's quite the opposite. Samara is a Justicar, one of an ancient sect of Asari warriors. Dara can tell you more.
Thanks for the help. That's all I needed to know.
Of course. If there's anything else I can help you with, let me know.
I'll talk to you.
Oh, I accidentally hit off her. So I have to start the conversation over again. I forgot about that. So she's saying again when I just hit here. I forgot to do this. You have to ask her to come with you, even though it's pretty clear that she's really busy here.
I have commitments here, things I need to take care of.
And you have to ask that Paragon question in order to get the
No,
subplots.
no
But
trouble. But it's been a long 2 years. I had things to
yeah, I
do
really
while you
probably
were
should have
gone.
gotten in a nap somewhere there, but I feel ready to collapse now.
I need someone with hacking expertise.
Hey, at least you're
Someone I
not
can trust.
watching some idiot with a stupid voices
If you can
2-hour
tell
Let's
me
Play
what
video, am I
influence around here,
right?
You can get me information I need. That would help me a great deal.
What's this all about, Liara? Can't you just talk to me?
Don't you think I want to, Shepard? This isn't because I don't trust you. This is Ilium. Anything I say is probably being recorded.
You know, you could come on the Normandy just to visit and then tell me there.
A server will open somewhere nearby for a short time. You can download data from there, if you hurry. Thank you, Shepard. This may help me pay a great debt.
So, how is she using the word great there? Does she mean that it's a large debt, or...
I've got the data. Come see me when you've got a moment. What do you want?
So, yeah, you hack all these terminals and that does it.
Is that Krogan bothering you?
And I don't know why it did that fade effect. I didn't tell it to. I have no idea. I just saw that just now, and the video's been uploaded, and I'm not processing again because, as I said, I'm not happy with the quality right now. I mean, that skin should be bright blue, and the purples should be popping. Kasumi's suit should be much redder, much more red. I don't want to lose any more of the color here by processing it again, just to try and figure out why it did that crossfade thing. And since I don't have the raw video files, I'm not sure I could undo it anyway. But that was just weird. I have no idea. I didn't tell it to do that.
Why are the two of you on a break?
He's serious.
Yeah, I only do this because you can see it play out later, a little bit later in this game, and then there is a callback to it in Mass Effect 3.
No offense.
It's actually rather heartbreaking.
If you really
But
he just wants kids.
yeah, this is the sort of thing, you know, I ignored all my first playthrough because it's like Dr. Phil's space hero. No. But since there is a later payoff, I'm like, might as well do it. If it adds a bit of variety and a new conversation and a bit of payoff down the road, I figure I might as well do it.
He's just gonna keep shouting poetry until you do.
After all, that's one of the appeals of this type of RPG is finding these little places and doing this stuff.
Look,
And he does make a good point.
Is he? I mean, what if he just wants to
I mean,
be
Shepard
dead?
does make a good
Just
point
be a
here.
making machine? He said he wasn't, but
if he said that, then you either trust him, so you have nothing to worry about, or you don't, and you've already decided.
Yeah, why, yeah.
and I do trust him.
Try thinking through these things logically next time. You know, doing a logical progression.
Thanks for the help.
Oh, and the other great thing about Ilium is that not only can you get a bunch of weapon and other upgrades, but you can also get lots of new fish and models for your tank. Oh, and here's another reason to sell Pharos besides a war asset in the third game is that it's called back here.
We met on Pharos during the Geth attack. Saren had given me to the Thorian creature as a slave, and you killed it. And saved me. I promised to help Zoo's Hope recover. I'm actually here on Ilium for just that purpose.
How is Zeus Hope doing?
We've done a lot of rebuilding. We even salvaged some useful material from the Geth ship you destroyed. The Exogeny
Yeah.
researchers got called back to their headquarters, however.
Mainly their comic book collection, but still, that was useful.
Is there something I can do to help?
I'd
Slip for a
appreciate it.
mint on eBay.
I've reached the limits of my diplomatic abilities.
Which weren't much to begin with, I have to admit. So,
Some of the colonists have
yeah,
health problems as a
I've,
result of Thorian control.
I basically have had one conversation and given up. That's the limit of my diplomatic
The
abilities.
medical contract apparently allows the company to perform invasive procedures without our consent. That's why I'm here.
And people wonder why I hate end-user license agreements. It's because you're signing a contract before sight unseen, and you should never do that. But according to the law, the moment you open up that video game and put it inside your machine, oh, you've agreed to the end-user license agreement, because you're not allowed to return it opened. And, again, you agreed to it but there's no place to see it. I'm just like, I'm sorry to keep going on about this, but I'm like, can you imagine with anything else, in any other industry, people getting away with saying, you're not allowed to see the contract you're signing, but now sign the contract. There. Now you're bound to do whatever we say. And we can change the contract on a whim, and we don't have to tell you how we changed the contract. We don't have to send you an email or anything like that. I can't imagine any other industry getting away with that sort of garbage. It should be illegal, and it would be illegal if it was in any other industry other than software. It's just the fact that there isn't anybody making laws in our government who's ever used a computer. And this goes beyond video games. This goes to the basics, like a copy of Windows, or any Apple product. And yes, you do need computers to exist in the world today, because to do a modern job, most modern jobs expect you to have a computer of some kind at your home. So you have to, and you to own this standardized software. So yeah, if you want to make money, and you have to make money in order to live.
I'll talk to the survey group.
I appreciate it, Shepard.
You have to have a computer, which means that you have to agree to these contracts sight unseen. So because everyone who makes laws in our government is among the rich and the privileged, who have other people to do the work for them, so they don't have to personally do any work on computers. That we don't have any laws saying, no, this is ridiculous. If I were to say that one of our senators had signed a contract with me to pay me $1 million a year, and it turned out, oh, I had you mow my lawn once, but you say that by doing that, I was agreeing to a contract, and you say that it was called an end-user's agreement, they would call BS on that so quick. It's just so stupid. I'm sorry. Stupid.
So you'd be this harsh in your contract terms if these were Asari colonists?
If they were Asari, they'd be dealing with problems unleashed by another race.
What?
Asari like my bondage, who died when the Geth rebelled against the Quarians. Or my daughters, who died during the Geth attack on the Citadel. One worked in the embassy, the other was a greeter for the...
Yeah, that kind of makes your conversations with those two a little sad now, doesn't it?
Speaking in hypotheticals,
Knowing they were brutally
the
murdered.
aliens will never be my allies. The best they can do is give me useful medical data.
Why was your bondmate on the Quarian homeworld?
Studying the Quarians. Not their technology, but their music. She loved all their art. Said they had old
All of it?
souls. I think that's where my daughters got it from. Both of them loved talking with people.
Even shitty
exploring new
Von Bad Art,
Sound like
Bad
one of the
Arts, Van Art,
Galaxy is less
Bad
than
Arts
their loss.
work. Ugh, I just killed the joke.
Do you think they'd want you to do this?
I'm not. I didn't.
You see, folks, this is why you really have to feel for those guys who used to do old-time radio and TV shows, and it went out live. Even when you've worked out the joke in advance, sometimes you can trip over your own tongue and ruin the joke
No more tests. No fees.
by screwing up the timing and everything.
I don't need to add to.
And no, I'm not about to record this whole commentary all over again just to get one more joke. I thought I cut this out. I must have. Not the crossfade. This is one of the more inexplicable bits of editing where you're just buying star charts so you get new systems that have... I think some of them have side quests in them
Did you
at
get the star charts?
least. I've always bought the star charts the moment I come here, so I don't remember.
I just got the
So I
rewards
don't remember ever playing through this in a way where I didn't have those star charts, so I don't know if those systems are closed off to you if you don't have the star
Is it
charts.
always like this?
I'm guessing they are, but
Yesterday's problems linger
I
in
don't
some
know.
new form. Isn't anything ever just fixed?
only with death. That's pretty bleak there, Shep. Even for a renegade option, that's bleak.
You gave us a chance by saving the colony.
That's...
I can't let them down. I won't. Thank you for what you've
Can't
done
let
here,
them out.
Shepard.
I won't do it. I
I'll keep doing what I can. Maybe sometime when I'm not organizing the colony.
Yeah, you think that would mean that that you go back to Pharos, you know, and see her again at some point. That there be a plot point on Pharos in the third game, you know, which would make sense since if it's supposed to be the last hurrah for Shepard and his crew, you know, as the main characters in Mass Effect, because going back and visiting previous locations and seeing how they're doing after the choices you made would have made sense, but it doesn't happen. So that's a setup. So that's like the setup for a joke without a punchline.
When you meet her, Justicars embody our highest laws, and they usually stay in Asari space. She's not used to dealing with aliens.
I mean, she'll probably think a handshake is some sort of threat and blast you with heat vision or something.
Most of them are on some lifelong mission, but they'll always stop to deal with any injustice they encounter, which can be a problem.
So anytime they come across a copy of Injustice: Gods Among Us, they have to play it.
Inspectors are authorized by the
Darn.
Justicars represent.
What? That's like, I don't know a good human metaphor. They represent their code, our code.
Our code! Is there any way I can, is there anywhere I could see this code so I know? Because you said that it was important for me not to offend her. Well, I kind of don't know how to do that if I have no idea what the code says is and is not
Is
offensive.
Samara really that dangerous?
If you follow the laws, you've got
And what are the laws? Again, you just said that there is not a good human metaphor for them. There's just a code.
Orders them to stop
Uh,
lawbreakers
I just,
with
like,
lethal force in most
If I
cases.
can't see the
Everyone
laws,
skirts
then
the
how do I
laws
know if
from
I'm
now on.
breaking them?
If someone's a
Ugh.
briber, should be obliged to gun them down as a matter of honor. I'm hoping to avoid that.
Matter of honor. Not to be confused with Medal of Honor. Ha! Oh! Guess they just let you park anywhere on this planet. That didn't look like a parking
Where do you think
space.
you're going?
taking my goods to Omega, Detective.
You're not going anywhere, Merchant. Not until I solve this murder.
I had nothing to do with that. It was those mercenary thugs you can't seem to get rid of.
The victim was your business partner, and I'm not ruling you out. I'll let you know when you can leave.
What about that Justicar that just showed up? Everyone says she might go crazy and start killing. I need to...
Yeah, she might start listening to her neighbor's
I'm
dog.
sure you have nothing to worry about, Pitney 4. Find me in the station if you need me.
For those of you too young to remember, that actually happened. There was a serial killer who claimed that he killed because his neighbor's dog ordered him to. Which, here's my thing. Even if the neighbor's dog is giving you orders, why would you follow the orders of a flippin' dog?
What do you want?
I'm pretty sure he pled insanity because I can't imagine that you know, being the work of a sane-man. I mean, take the dog talking to him, that level of insanity, and then add on the level of insanity where he actually did what it told him to do. My neighbor's dog started... Okay, here's my thing. Even if I was so far gone that I wasn't questioning the dog talking to me in the first place, I'd still be like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're a dog. You're ordering me to kill somebody. You're a dog. If I have the ability to kill people, I can shut you up. Just remember that. Dog. Just remember your place. You're a dog. I'm not taking orders from a flippin' dog. I don't care how good your pronunciation of English is.
I occasionally do business
Wait. Where are we in the game? What was I talking about?
with my guards.
Did I just go off on a tangent there? That's why you don't want to give me 2.5 to 3 hours to fill. I'm, spitballing.
All kinds of illegal items, and they are all cold-blooded killers.
I've known some that were very nice. Stop judging them.
Dagny Kerr knew the risks when he took to spacing. Right now, my worry is me. It's unhealthy to be a Volus in the Nosastra spaceport right now. Especially a Volus named Pitney 4.
Why would these mercs kill him? And why do you think they're coming after you, too?
I have no idea.
Methinks he doth protest too much,
But they
don't
killed
you?
him, so they must be after me, too. I have to work the angles and get out of here.
Did you say work the ankles or angles? With your height, I'm wondering.
Nice guns. Try not to use them in my district.
Work the ankles! Bolus, work the ankles!
For an Asari warrior named Samara.
You're gonna eat like to punch your ankles.
I've got more than enough trouble here already.
I need to recruit Samara for my mission. Then we'll be on our way.
Justicars usually work alone, but they are drawn to impossible causes.
How can
Like, getting Disney to take a break now and then from the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You're letting her into a sealed crime
Or,
I'm a cop. I'll work with the Justicar all I can.
start making Pixar movies that aren't sequels or rip-offs of other movies. Sequels to or rip-offs of other movies.
You're awfully anxious to get Samara out of your district.
That's an impossible cause I want to see a Justicar tackle.
They're worried she'll cause some
And given that the word justice is obviously the root of their title, I think they should be bound to do that, because that would be true justice right there. Getting them to slow down with sequels and let Pixar make something that isn't a sequel. A sequel.
Remember that next time Shepard sets us up against impossible odds.
That's about twice a day.
Which was literally true which is really true the day I was playing this, since I got locked into this epic play session.
Unless I can get her to leave my district first.
How do I get to the crime scene?
It's that big area marked crime scene.
Look for the police line. I'll send word to let you in.
And plus, it's the only other
Local
place you can
Eclipse
go
police were all
in
over
this
those
hub.
back alleys lately.
What do I need to know about these mercenaries?
Eclipse mercs are professional killers. They sell red sand, trade illegal weapons tech, and
As
smuggle criminals
opposed to all
off-world.
those
They can try
unprofessional
some back
killers
alleys
that
around here.
elude
Haven't
police
been able to find
capture.
their nest yet, though.
I guess.
What can you tell me about Justicars?
They're kind of... humans might call them warrior monks. They live by a complex code that compels them to punish the wicked and protect the pure. They've been a part of Asari culture for millennia. I read adventure stories about Justicars when I was a child.
What do you think of Samara herself?
She's been a Justicar longer than 3 of your lifespans. Whoever she was before she swore that oath, that person is dead.
So what I told you was true. From a certain point of view.
The Polis merchant was murdered. It was a professional hit, so we're not dealing with junkies looking for a score. I'm thinking the local Eclipse mercenary band. Can't prove it, but if the Volus was dirty too, maybe it's just a deal gone bad.
I have to go.
Why didn't he just take a bath and avoid getting murdered? And even a bit dirty anymore. Shot myself with that one.
Anaya told us to let you through. Watch yourself. There's merc activity back here.
Here's something you
We're
can
waiting
pick up.
on backup.
There. Upload. Oh, wait. It's like a pregnancy test, isn't it? Yeah, so you shoot some mercs and walk the... You just walk down the hall and shoot some mercs. I didn't think that was really that important to show. I mean, they're just Eclipse, like I just showed shooting in the same episode with Kasumi's loyalty mission. They're that exact same type. So
she would hurt me in ways you can't imagine.
She might call me names or something. That's very hurtful. You can imagine how hurtful that is. Oh, what I well, I can't answer you now. My lungs have been punctured.
What was the name of the ship she left on?
Oh, hell.
You know, I don't remember Jack Bauer when he needed some critical piece of information ever just asking twice and then stopping. And then just killing the guy and not asking any more questions. If you really want your information, should you keep it?
That merc was wounded and helpless. Do you just kill anyone who won't help you?
If my cause is important enough, yes. Are you different?
I've killed enemies, but always with good reason.
I answer to a code that is clearly defined.
Except we won't define it, so, I guess it's not that clear.
I don't pretend it is a simple matter, or that it seems right to everyone. But I sleep well at night, and that is more than most can say. How may I be of service to you?
I sleep very well at night, thank you very much, Samara.
That's you.
In fact, I don't think I know anybody who ever said, "Oh, I never sleep well at night."
Incredibly dangerous fugitive. I cornered her here, but the Eclipse sisters smuggled her off-world. I must find the name of the ship she left on before the trail goes cold.
Yeah, I probably should have asked more than 2 questions of that merc. I think about it.
You risk a great deal by following your orders, Detective. Fortunately, I will not have to resist. My code obligates me to cooperate with you for 1 day.
And if the fugitive kills some people in that 1 day, who cares?
You won't be able to stop me.
There must be some way we can all get what we need.
What is this code that requires you to cooperate with the law, but only for 1 day, and then you just slaughter every innocent person that gets in your way? And why would anybody think this was a good code for law enforcement or general morality in the first place? And no, if it's in the supplementary material, no, I haven't read it. You want to know why? Because I don't read the comics or novels, because that establishes a canon. You can only work those if you establish a canon. for Shepard's decisions, whether it's a he or a her or any of that. And it's like, what's the point of that? But the whole thing that makes Mass Effect is the fact that it's that it's under the player's control. So once you take that out, so I don't want things explained to me in supplementary material like movies, novels, or comics.
Dominated by Asari, but it isn't in Asari space.
Put something in the game that explains exactly what this is. It's the motivating force of one of the main characters. And yeah, I know, it was in the novel. You don't have to have it voiceovered or, talked about. That costs money. Even like a 50,000, even like a 150,000, 200,000 word novel still only takes up a megabyte or two of hard drive space. Of space on a hard drive or a computer disk. So, just make it like a codec, one of the printed non-voiced codex entries, and do it that way. That would be my thing. And if it's explained in a book, take it from a book and put it on there.
You've got one chance to change that.
Take it from the book and put it in there so that's in the game. Because I really want to understand this code, but even after all the times I've played this game, I still don't clearly understand what it is, or what its what the general idea of it is. I don't even understand what the general principles it's supposed to be based on are. If they avoided the details but just told me, "Oh, here are the principles," then I'd be fine. But it's you don't even get that. I just get it's just whatever whatever they need Samara to do for the plot. They have that be within the code, and she never questions it. I would have. Now you would think then the plot thread for her in this game in Mass Effect 3 would be learning to question the code, because obviously some ancient code can't foresee every foreseeable circumstance, and since it's so specific as saying that she needs to cooperate with them for exactly one day in this exact situation, then that's not a general code that she's interpreting. That means that it's an exact set of rules that was laid out thousands upon thousands of years ago, where whoever laid it out couldn't have possibly foreseen everything. Okay, so you shoot some more mercs, and you go into this closet, and you have this conversation. Now, normally I shoot this person, but you get some useful intel out of her if you don't. So, while her reaching for a gun, and while it's obvious everything she says is complete and utter, bull. What did she do?
Wait, stop! I didn't fire my weapon once.
I fired it many, many times.
We're watching, but I didn't really shoot.
Fired it many, many times. I pretended. Did she say she pretended? What did she go? Did she not pull the trigger and just wave it around and go pew 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 pew? See, that's the sort of thing where normally you'd end up dead. But once I missed the QuickTime cue there, that's how I figured it out. It took me being a second late on the QuickTime cue there, and then realizing that, oh, you can get intel out of her if you let her live. I assumed somebody who just pointed a gun at me and tried to kill me and had a story full of BS wouldn't have anything useful to tell me.
Superstition until now. It means demon of the night winds. I didn't think they were real, but the boss said the scary lady was one.
Yeah, scary.
I have no idea. It was a few days ago.
Doesn't sound good though. Anything called Demon of the Night Winds that's scaring a bunch of psychic murdering commandos. And that seems kind of really dangerous. 634. I can't remember. Oh, biotic damage thing. Yeah, I forgot about I like that there's a reward for not using up all your ammo. I mean, it's not much of one, or getting through the level using as little meta-gel as possible. So there is some sort of bonus for accuracy and thinking your way through situations. Not much of one, but it's still a reward, which I like. One thing that I want to see in more games, though, is at the end of the game. Does anybody remember Galaga? Anybody here? Anybody here? I'm probably the. If anybody watches this, I'm probably the only person who could possibly remember that game. But I remember playing on the Atari 7800. Yeah, that was Atari's ultimate system, if you ask me. It played all their 2600 games, and it played pretty close to the arcade. Ports of all of their classic arcade games. And one of the ones that I nearly got Corporal Tunnel playing was Galaga. And anyway, but at the end of the game it tells you what your hit-miss percentage was. That gives you an additional goal. Oh, I love running into this guy. So that gives you an additional goal to shoot for. And that gives you a reason to try and be accurate and not just fill the screen with as many shots as you can. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I thought of, what sounds impressive? You need help! You need help! No, you need help! No, you need help! You need help! You need help times infinity! You need help infinity plus 1! Darn it, I lost! Well, I'm smelling something all right.
They may laugh when I fall over.
But hey, Donald O'Connor says that's fine. Make 'em laugh, make 'em laugh. Don't you know everyone wants to laugh? Why does it be an active fun? Bobby, I gotta go on, they'll be standing line. For a monkey shine. Sip on a banana peel, the world's at your feet.
Probably so his departure won't get delayed.
Face it, Pitney will pick money over friends every time.
That is so Pitney, the guy I've only had 2 conversations with and have only known for like 20 minutes. That's so him. I feel I am very able to make judgments about his personality and his character based on 2 interactions.
He can barely talk, much less fight.
I will tear her apart. My biotics are unstoppable.
Really?
Wasea will tear you apart.
She'll tear you apart. No, she'll tear you apart. No, she'll tear you apart. She'll tear you apart infinity. She'll tear you apart infinity plus 1. Darn it, lost again. Yeah, I'll just do another playground trick and just.
But great wind.
Oh, there was a great wind, but it only happened because you had those burritos.
What was I saying? I'm tired.
Yeah, I know what you mean, bud.
Maybe right. Yes, I'm tired. I'll nap. Destroy the universe later.
Nicely done, Shepard.
I wonder if that's what I wonder if that's what the master from Doctor Who what he said, what he said whenever he got tired in the middle of the afternoon, especially during the Pertwee era. It was like so. Tired. Destroy universe later. Oh, after nap time.
Since we smuggled that filthy creature off-world.
Chewbacca? Don't talk about him that way.
Now you.
Or maybe she was talking about Jabba the Hutt. That would be a filthy creature.
They've seen it.
Please tell me you at least still. So when I find, but yet she calls Oxy a filthy creature, yet when I encounter it later, there will be no option for me to say, Merry Christmas, you filthy creature. That can't be overlooked. And again, maybe I'm only thinking of Christmas right now because this is January 2nd, so Christmas just ended. Well, it's January 2nd when I'm recording this. I don't know when you're watching it, if you're watching it. I don't think I'll ever get above 0 views. If I ever get above 0 views with my annoying voice and my being a complete moron with nothing interesting to say, I'll be very surprised.
Thank you for
And yet I'm putting all this effort into the videos.
It will take them months to rebuild their
I need to
organization.
rethink my life.
Also,
I guess once it's up on YouTube, it's up there forever, so,
when you were poking about,
at some point in the future, somebody might go, what happened to the commentary?
You never know when something like this might come in handy.
Or why didn't you do Mass Effect 3, which I still haven't found a way to get working.
that manifest was very profitable for you.
But anyway, I'll keep trying, because who knows. And I want to help you because a Weird Al CD just fell down in front of my face from the top bunk. This Weird Al's straight out of Loon. This is the one that I saw on tour. He actually came to Delaware on tour with this. Yeah, because the ticket's still in there. That I was given as a birthday present by my brother. It's mostly faded. I can barely read it. Comedy at the Beach featuring Weird Al Yankovic. With Beach Convention Center.
She's who you're really after, isn't she?
You continue to impress. Yes, I was here tracking the Ardat Yakshi.
Wednesday, June 16th,
I will bring her to justice.
2010. Okay, so that was almost 6 years ago now.
Near the main trading floor. I love you aboard.
I love that. That was a great show. Even when he was in that puny little convention center with the folding chairs, he put on a great show and really got into the crowd. Weird Al is weird. Well, he is weird. It's in his name. But he's like a real showman. He gets into the crowd, interacts with the crowd. Tricked some of the crowd by coming out in a Jedi robe. He and his whole band went behind stage, and when an encore was called for, they came out in Jedi robes, and we thought they were going to do Yoda or, The Saga Begins, but then they started singing a song about cell phones. So which songs were on Straight Outta Hollywood?
Extremely dishonorable. I may need to kill you when I'm released from my oath.
Oh, great! She's a Klingon, and you say this code is very clearly defined. Would you mind giving me a copy so I know what it counts as being dishonorable? Because apparently in the section under honor, it has slaughtering cops and other innocent people who get in your way. So I'm wondering what's dishonorable in is there. And yet you're perfectly justified in killing mercs who mostly smuggle drugs. And carry out hits on other criminals. So, that's all it takes? I'm sorry, but the Asari legal system is really messed up here. And yet, they say that there was nowhere to go for Mass Effect 4. I disagree. There are so many interesting and nuanced places you could take this, all this. You could take all this without the Reapers breathing down your neck. I mean, since the governments have... spoilers for Mass Effect 3, if you haven't played it. Spoilers. Most of the galaxy is at least weakened. So, yeah, most of... and the Asari very much so. So you would think that would lead to some sort of shake-up. And I'm like... And some sort of... And earth-shattering things like this usually lead to questioning about things like that moral and justice code. Yeah, or something. And...
I've seen Samara's
they need some...
They're substantial.
So it's like...
We still don't know what we're going to find when we hit the collectors.
I think a huge Beanie Baby collection.
A room that looks out on
Everybody thought they were going to put their kids through college on those things, but everybody owned all of them. So so who was going to pay a fortune for these collections? Am I the only one who saw through that BS? Back in the 90s? Boy, I'm really showing my age.
You had me so
Gallag.
worried when you were trapped on the collector ship.
What?
Goodness for Edie.
The Normandy crew delivered.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to talk to her right after the collector mission.
We were there to help you, let me get the credit this time. The elusive man made sure that he was installed for this mission.
Sorry.
I see why. Anyway,
I like hearing what she and Joker each
you have unread messages at your private terminal.
have to say.
Anything else, Commander?
So I have to talk to her twice in a row to get her to. Oh, darn it! Did I forget how to? Why is it doing this crossfade thing again? You can't read that.
Shepard,
How are you?
What on
I
earth?
spent
What
much of the
was it
last
doing?
400 years on my own. It is nice to have a colleague to chat with.
I mean, I'd like to experiment with crossfading because that's the whole point of doing these videos is to learn video editing. But being that I have no idea how I got that, how I got it to do that in the first place, I'm somewhat annoyed. I had no idea that was there, and I've already uploaded the other version of this, and I don't have the raw video file, so I have no idea what's going on here. But sorry, you couldn't read that. I couldn't read that. I'd go back and see who it was even from and what message it was. So I guess at the beginning of that message, if you really want to see it, and see what it was dealing with, and some of those messages do deal with plot points, or they at least resolve things that you know, they couldn't resolve through dialogue, I guess, because time constraints or money constraints or something. And it's a good way having Shepard get emails. It's a good, realistic way to do it within budget. But if you can't read it, you can't tell.
You will understand if I wish to avoid this topic. It is deeply tied to my code and beliefs.
So again, you told me if you violated this code, you'd kill me when our mission was done.
I should get back to work.
And yet you won't tell me anything about this code. Maybe she won't pass it.
Indicate you were in a warehouse recently.
I forgot. This guy comes up right as the loading screen goes off. I mean, right as it goes off. So normally, you know, when I get to a hub world, I just wait for the loading screen to end and, you know, get to my destination, get to whoever I was going to talk to on the hub world, on the hub world, and then, you know, change it, and then hit the capture button. But I forgot that guy pops up if you upload the message. So sorry. But that was just that guy. He was just reacting to my uploading the message. Good night. Rito has a lot of weird pictures of him where he was growing up.
It's no safer here than Omega.
And, yes, I'm still looking at Straight Out of Linwood CD. This album has a lot of good memories. I haven't seen that many concerts in my life. This and a couple of Carmen concerts that I went to when I was a kid are the ones that I really remember.
They're not soft, just unconcerned. They only flaunt what they can afford to lose.
Oh, Freddy, Yikevic. Seeing that name on ID, that's just... I guess his ID still says that. Don't download this song.
It's good to see you again. Thank you for getting me that system data. Here, it's not.
So I guess if I upload any of these onto YouTube, I wouldn't get sued, right? Because he just parodied that. Although he might not have any say because I don't think he owns the label. So that released the CD. So.
To say that the Shadow Broker is on the run from me. We crossed paths not long after you died. Since then, I've been working to take him
Oh, good
down.
night. The web address on the back of this CD is for MySpace. Can't remember the last time I was on MySpace. Actually.
What did the Shadow Broker do to you?
Hey.
I was on a job
Alright. He was really rude, and I'm gonna teach him. I'm gonna have a party and not invite him. That'll teach
I
him.
need to find him. I owe him my life.
So what? You're gonna find him and then commit ritual suicide in front of him? Like that Sinister was forced to by Caligula.
What if I help you find him?
I'm sorry, Shepard. The galaxy doesn't work that way. I need to find leads, trace information.
Go into DLC that was probably originally supposed to be part of a base game, since its setup is part of a base game.
Let me know if there's anything else I can do.
But hey, I have to make sure that you pay an extra $15 just to get answers on this about this mystery that's been set up here.
It gave me a target.
I mean, we can't include more than 20 hours of or so of gameplay in the game in a full-priced RPG. I mean, that would be crazy.
Tell me what I can
That
do
would
to
be
help.
crazy, even though the standard runtime for an RPG used to be around 40 hours.
The Shadow Broker is cautious. His agents are referred to only by their title and race.
My inquiries
That seems like it would make it really easy to track them down.
A Solarian, a Krogan, a Batarian, and a Vorcha.
If you can refine the list, I'll know where to strike.
And then he'll never ship anything out of that shipping center again.
Thank you, Shepard. When you find something, call me on the radio channel we used in the old days. I can't risk handling this in
There was a
person.
specific radio channel?
I'm looking for Thane Krios. He's supposed to be here on Ilium.
The assassin? Yes. He arrived here a few days ago. My sources tell me he may be targeting a corporate executive, Nisana Dantius. He contacted a woman named Serena.
She was with me on that mission. You think she would have some reaction to that news? Yeah, she's the one who this game insists tricked me into killing her own sister, but I don't remember that being the case. I remember just randomly coming across her sister and then talking to her later and her not being broken up about it because her sister was blackmailing her, but that's a long way from her tricking. And yes, I know that if you don't do that, she does trick you, but to know that she was planning on tricking you, that would have required Shepard to be psychic. I mean, I know he can be a biotic, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so you go to these different things, you hack these different public terminals, and they give you these pieces of data that you put together, and yeah, it's kind of like a murder mystery sort of like Clue-like thing, only the clues are really, really, really obvious. This is why I left,
Some human is causing trouble.
Oh, yes.
Sign the place over to him.
Why on earth?
I'll be careful.
Or you could kill him. You know, legally.
What? Again, another crossfade? Why?
The observer is female. Something's
What's...
not right.
What?
Who gave you this lead?
What? I didn't tell it to do any of this. So, anyway, that woman, she was complaining about a human who was going around bullying people and claiming to be a Spectre. Can you guess who that is? If you said our old friend Conrad Burner, you wearing Mass Effect 1 armor, you'd be right. Oh, and being a whiny little bitch. I mean, really, I'm sorry. Sorry, but this is an M-rated game. You're watching commentary on an M-rated game where there's the possibility... I don't go for it, but there is the possibility, because it's so open-ended, of there being sex scenes in it. So, yeah, sorry. But,
I learned that lesson well. So you're alive, huh? I hear it goes like that
in the biz? What? Nobody talks like that, you poser. You're a bigger poser than Kyle Ren.
Let me make this perfectly clear.
Thank you. That's why I responded to him the way I did in the first game, because I wanted to shoot him in the foot in this game.
That shot barely grazed you, you big baby. Sorry, my father was a Krogan.
It still scared me. I'm new at the badass mercenary thing.
You're never gonna be badass. Anakin looks tough compared to you.
Conrad, do you have any actual combat training?
Or
I'm saving the galaxy, Shepard. I don't have time for
what? I am saving the galaxy. My mission is important, so I don't have time to actually make sure I complete my mission. What kind of logic is that? Even during the darkest days of World War II, we were still giving our soldiers some training before sending them out to the front lines.
If you're willing to pay. Getting the whole getup was pretty expensive, but my wife was really supportive.
You've never been near a woman. Stop bringing up your wife.
So, you just walk through the galaxy righting wrongs?
Hey, don't say it like that.
You know, sing it like a ballad, like it's Robin Hood. Conrad Werner! Conrad Werner! He's a whiny little... He's a whiny little turd.
Any decent security system will detect that you aren't in the military, much less part of my squad.
I just say that I'm deep cover and don't appear on systems. I'm doing the best.
These people are really stupid.
You were a hero. You saved the galaxy and showed everyone what humanity could do. And then you died. The galaxy needed someone like you, Shepard. We all did.
And it's somehow my fault that I got killed. You know, Bill, blame Joker.
So that's how it is? Nobody can get the job done but you?
Yeah, pretty much, because this is a video game. Can you imagine how boring the game would be if that wasn't the case? If other people could do this stuff, could you imagine how boring the game would get? Like, really quick.
Thanks for taking care of that crazy guy.
Yeah.
Saves me having to
Steve
beat him to
Martin?
death with
I don't
his
have
own
anything
time.
against him.
That makes the other customers nervous. Anyway, this is Eternity, and I'm Athena, a sorry matriarch and bartender. Get you anything?
Yeah, a nice cup of bitterness would be, seems to be on tap. Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Bitter.
Which I do here at this bar. I know, not what you'd expect. But nobody on Thessia wanted to listen to my wise counsel, so here I am.
Yeah, well, I'll have to hear what your wise counsel was before deciding what... Before deciding whether or not they were idiots. I mean...
You said your father fought in the Rachni Wars.
Yeah, when he was young. Loved showing off his war scars. Krogan think they're sexy.
Ugh.
Me, I go for absence. As a girl, he'd tell me about landing on this poison-filled world and stomping a Rachni queen into muck.
Are you surprised that they're giving a bartender this much character development? Yeah, they're subtly setting something up. That's a word I don't use in relation to modern-day entertainment too much. Subtle. But this is kind of, in that you actually have to put the pieces together in this game, and you kind of suspect what she's setting up, but you don't know for sure until the next game, which is nice. It makes it all feel like it's part of one big universe.
Your mother fought in the rebellions, and your father was a Krogan. Didn't that cause tension?
They didn't meet until a few hundred years after the Turians put the boot in with the damn Genophage. As far as either one knew, they were both just warriors. Dad boasted. Mom stayed quiet. Mom was a matriarch herself. Dad was near on 1,000 when the truth came out.
How long after that?
What happened when he found out?
I was about 100, shaking my ass in some sleazy bar. They got me on the link. Told me that they were gonna have it out, and made me promise to love whichever one survived. Turned out to be damn easy, since neither one did. Family, huh? What a kick in the quad.
I'm pretty sure it's only your family.
What's it like, living for nearly 1,000 years?
Violent. Wars break out. Colonies get destroyed. Sometimes you hear good news like that colony on Pharaoh surviving. That's
Huh.
exception.
Somebody actually appreciates what I did, and they're not just the people that live there. Wow. That's, I wasn't expecting that. Thanks.
And one day you wake up, your figure's gotten matriarchal, and
somebody
everyone else is too
gives
young to remember how the
Mm.
Quarians looked inside those suits.
Oh, at least they remembered that from the Quarians.
Better than what most other matriarchs are doing.
So, did she go to their homeworld too, or
a few years back.
why did they have spaceships if they couldn't go? If they couldn't go anywhere, I guess they must. Did they go in their suits the whole time when they were trading? That seems to be like it would make them very reluctant to go off-world. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine if our astronauts had to stay in their suits the whole time they were up on the International Space Station? I'm guessing the trips to the International Space Station would be much, much quicker if that were the case.
Talking about making new mass relays ourselves, they laughed the blue off my ass. So now I serve drinks.
Coming off more of a purple here.
That's what I'm here for, babe.
So,
get you anything else?
I'd like something to drink.
Sure. I'll set up a tab at the drink.
No, I don't want a tab.
Knock yourself out.
Literally,
if you want.
I'd rather, do you have any, do you have a Coca-Cola or maybe a Sprite?
I saw Krogan drink a liquefied Turian on a dare 6 or 7 centuries back.
Please stop telling me stories! Because now I really feel like eating and drinking. Your bar must do great business. With stuff like that. So now you talk to this lady to get the next member of your team.
Liara Tassoni said you might have information on Thane Krios.
Tana, cover for me. Over here.
So you want her to type on 2 keyboards at once? Because she was just doing her own paperwork there, it looked like.
What do you want to know?
Maybe you could help me find him?
Is anybody out there able to do that? And if so, please point me in the direction of a video on YouTube of somebody typing on 2 keyboards at once and it not being complete non-gibberish what they're typing. I'd like to see that happening. That would impress me. As somebody who doesn't have the coordination to play the piano, that would impress me.
Why does that name sound familiar?
She was an NPC in the last game.
Right.
Duh.
Had me kill her sister, the slaver.
I thought that was just a rumor. Well, you know what she's capable of then. She has even more power here in Nos Astra.
She didn't.
She uses it to
So she has a little more than the not very much power that she was afraid of losing she had on the Citadel.
You must have an idea what his opposition will be.
Still doesn't sound very impressive to me.
Tech killer, undisciplined but very well equipped.
Yeah, more than I needed to know. Oh, you didn't mean it in that way. Sorry.
I told him all I knew. He didn't seem worried.
So where do I find Thane?
The Dantius Towers, penthouse level of Tower 1.
How do you know she'd stay there? If I knew an assassin was after me, I wouldn't stay in the penthouse level of the tower that had my name on it. That'd be like Trump trying to hide from assassins. Donald Trump trying to hide from assassins by staying on the top floor of one of his buildings that has a giant sign that says Trump outside of it. Call me crazy, but I think the guy might think to look there. I think the professional hitman might think to look there. I'd go somewhere like, you know, he has some money. Go to a small house somewhere in Canada or something, or in Amish country, or a house near Amish country or something. That's where people wouldn't expect to see you. And if you just take off that bad wig or whatever you have on your head, people will probably not recognize you. I think people will recognize Trump. I think Trump is the only person in history not to be recognized by his face, but to be recognized by, well, by the horrid wig he has on his head. At least I assume it's a wig. Please tell me. Please tell me. You're suddenly bitter, even though, according to you, I'm doing you a favor. Yeehaw! This traffic does not look
The towers
safe.
are heavily guarded, and you'll find more resistance closer to the penthouse. So, this assassin, you planning to stop him?
I'm just here to make sure he survives.
Yo! Woohoo! Ha! I love doing that, dude. Even though it's stupidly unsafe.
There they are, the Dantius towers. You'll have to get up to the second tower.
Can you imagine how many casualties just one car wreck would create if we really did have flying cars? I mean, you'd have the two cars hitting, then you'd have them falling out of the sky, hitting any traffic below them, and all that traffic falling on top of any people on ground level below them. And if you're in a city, running into any skyscrapers or houses that got in the way. Not to mention the hundreds of people that might be packed on the street if it's busy. Please, 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 I'm begging you, leaders of the world, no one ever approved the idea of flying cars. The highways we have today are dangerous enough. At least they explain why you have to go through this whole level just to get fame. And you're mostly just fighting robots and a few mercs. So most of this is going to be cut because apart from the part... There is a neat little thing here where you get to like save civilians, which isn't an option you're normally given. Most of the time the civilians seem to be dead before you get to them. So that's pretty cool, and you get information on your new squad member Fane from them. So I always thought that was a pretty cool structural thing. We had to put gauze in our ears.
They just attacked you?
Yes.
We didn't hear.
Too slow. It was horrible. Everyone.
Well, I didn't think it was good.
The merc said there was no time.
Thank you for clarifying that. Because I was beginning to think you enjoyed getting murdered by robo dogs.
Make it if we don't help him. Here, that should ease the pain and keep you alive until help arrives.
He doesn't know where the assassin is.
Take your time.
I don't know where the assassin is. As someone who's bitter as hell over no one showing compassion for me in my youth, I sure get really bitter when people show compassion for other people.
Any suggestions?
Take the service elevator to the upper.
Yeah, by being so mad at other people for not showing compassion, she's actually is judging that. Yeah, she's actually, you know, by being so bitter about her own treatment, she's actually getting mad at people for not showing human compassion. And yet, she gets mad every time you show human compassion. But as I said, the character does grow if you use her as a romance option. Pretty much all the characters grow, actually, but you don't see it in detail, really, unless they're one that you pick as the romance option, which I didn't pick her because, even though she changes the most, well, you'll see. I still have a favorite in this setup, so, what?
Please, don't kill us. We'll go.
Right here on the floor!
Right?
That's how scared we are.
One reason I'm here. Come on.
But you
it's safe enough.
see what I mean about Jack's outfits becoming much more reasonable and actually looking like something you could actually wear and not die of instant hypothermia in tropical location. And what's more, it looks like it would stay on. I don't know how her old outfit stays on. I mean, it has all these straps everywhere, but a lot of them seem to be hanging down and they don't seem to be going... I'm getting off on a ramp. On a ramp? Yeah, I'm getting off this. Yeah, I'm taking on the ramp onto the exit that gets me off this rant.
I need to get to Nasana's penthouse. What's the quickest way?
Boy, I can't wait for this to be over. I advise you all to watch these parts, this and the next episode in multiple parts. Fortunately, they go back to not being much longer than an hour after this, and there's even one that, because it didn't fit with any others, thematically or anything, it didn't seem to flow at all, it was the only level I had time to play. I only had time to play like 1 or 2 levels, so there is one coming up that's like a standard TV show length, 45 minutes. I know, miracle, right? I probably should try editing these shorter when I get on to Mass Effect free, but
Did you see the one who locked you in?
more episodes means more hard drive space taken up longer, or it means playing in much shorter bursts, and getting into a groove is kind of hard.
I wouldn't stay here too long. It should be safe down on the lower floors.
Am I the only one who this is true for, where I sort of find myself, you know, after I play for... if I start out playing a game the first time that day, I sort of have a learning curve where I start out, you know, things being a little jumbled, and then...
I haven't heard from teams 4 or 5. Don't worry, my team's always ready to go.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Go. They're Power Rangers. Go, Power Ranger! Hey, Disney owns the rights to it, so there's no chance that in 200 years they won't still be milking it to death.
Turn around, very slowly.
Yeah, crap. Maybe I should have been watching the elevator for the assassins coming after us.
If I knew that, I wouldn't be wasting my time talking to you. You're not one of Nasana's mercs.
Oh, real bright there, Sherlock.
Express or coach. Your choice.
I'm going full-blown Jack Bauer here.
If I knew where he was, I wouldn't tell you.
Not the answer I was looking for.
I've got nothing more to say to you. If you shoot me,
Will what now?
How about goodbye?
Harsh. I guess he had it coming.
Plus, we've killed dozens of guys just like his men, so the threat that his men will hear if I kill him, that doesn't really scare me. Alright, so you kill a bunch more of his men, and you hack through a door, and you find more survivors.
Relax. Don't do anything you'll regret.
I don't want to hurt you, but I will. I said get back. I'll do it. Please, don't make me...
I've already wet myself 3 times!
Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. What's your name?
I'm telling. Don't come any closer.
He's actually showing some
Commander
a little bit of it.
I don't work with the mercs, and I don't want to hurt you. I'm here to help.
All right. Here.
Ugh.
Tell him.
And he's diabetic.
See if he's all right.
Apparently.
Are you the ones who shot the merc?
No, we shot 200 other mercs, but not this particular one. I can tell. Somehow.
No, Talon was standing here with me.
You know, when you go into the equipment inventory screen you'll see that Thane uses the exact same sniper rifle as Garrett. So how you his head didn't explode, it's still in one piece there. See what I mean? It's an M-rated game and they talk about people's heads exploding, yet their heads can't explode. Anybody remember the Soldier of Fortune games? I want that engine. If a game is going to be rated M for all the other content, then I want to see the people's limbs flying off. I want to see a Soldier of Fortune 3 released so that we can have the Soldier of Fortune 3 engine running on modern processing power, where, you know, you have all the weather effects and everything, and then when they talk about somebody's head exploding from a sniper rifle, their head actually explodes in a single shot from a sniper rifle. So that there's a point to sniper rifles. Here's my thing: in this game and some others I've played lately, because they want to just use generic animations over and over again for the enemies, I don't get any.
No need to convince me.
There's no satisfaction to, like, headshots, because half the time headshots don't even kill anyway. And it's like,
yeah.
how hard those are to make with sniper rifles, at least for me. I'd like the payoff of actually, you know, taking out an enemy in a single shot and not having to worry. I really need to know what the weather's doing so I know what to wear.
What's going on down there?
There's supposed to be weather on the
I'm afraid your
9th.
men aren't able to respond.
So yeah, you fight your way across a catwalk, and it was pretty exciting, but this is long enough. And
Shepard, but you're dead.
I got better.
line
And now you're here to kill me.
I've heard some people say that that was a reference to a film, but I'm pretty sure, given some of the other ideas, and I'm going to make a whole video detailing the relationship that I think exists between Mass Effect, Stargate Atlantis, and Babylon 5. But given the I'll go into detail on that in that dedicated video that I'll release
All the credits in the world won't
probably I think I'll do it after I'm done with the commentary for this whole game, so that I'm doing it with a clear head. But
we both kill people for money. What's the difference?
but that line, "You're dead. I got better." That's straight out the first exchange Sheridan has with somebody when he returns from the dead in Babylon 5.
Check the other entrances.
And it's sort of like it's sort of like in the Bible, Moses coming down from the mountain and finding everybody worshiping idols. He comes back to Babylon 5 and he comes back to life after his suicide mission on the Shadow homeworld, and he finds everybody. And he finds pretty much everybody on Babylon 5 betraying the ideals that he was willing to die for, but then as they see him come, then as everybody realizes that who's just entered this large public space, they all of a sudden get this look on their face like, oh shoot, we're in trouble, and all this guy who's been the ringleader can do is go, Shepard, you're dead. Like the head of the idol worshippers. Head of you were worshiping the golden calf when Moses went up on Mount Ararat to get the 10 Commandments. And Sheridan's response is, I got better. I got better. And
I was curious to see how far you'd go to find me. Well,
would you search for me in a book full where it's nearly impossible to see me because of how many characters are on each page?
Gunfire and explosions.
I assume they're aware Svain books in the future. Oh, and Garrus, sniper rifles don't work like that, so stop aiming that sniper rifle around like it's a shotgun or an assault rifle or something.
By reputation.
They're abducting entire human colonies. Freedom's Progress was their handiwork.
I see.
I assumed it was the Easter Bunny. He was next on my hit list.
Through the Omega-4 relay. No ship has ever returned from doing so.
They told me it was impossible to get to Ilos, too.
A fair point.
Yeah.
On performing the impossible.
Wow. Science fiction or fantasy where somebody remembers that the hero has a history of doing things people say are impossible, so they stop arguing with him when he says that he's going to do something else impossible. I guess that's becoming more common these days, particularly at New Doctor Who, where it's been elevated to an insane level where nothing's really a challenge for him anymore. But it used to be, when I was a kid, that nobody would remember how many times Captain Picard and his crew had beaten impossible odds or gotten away from, and they'd still, be threatening them or still be saying, "Oh, no, that's impossible." Or they wouldn't remember how good Picard actually is at diplomacy, and they'd act like, you really think you could find a peaceful solution to this problem? And I'd be like, please, You're talking to the man
I've heard
here.
impressive stories,
He-
Kratos. Sounds like you'll
he-
be an asset to the team.
He's
That is, if you're
he's
comfortable
stopped
having an
he's
assassin
stopped
working
entire
for you.
armadas with the
Accept the
Picard
contract.
speech.
My arm is Shepard's.
Even the Borg recognized the power of the Picard speech. That's why they tried to weaponize it at the end of the Best of Both Worlds Part 1.
What's your concern?
I don't like mercenaries. An assassin is just a precise mercenary.
And what makes you so much better,
The
exactly?
weapon doesn't choose to kill. The one who wields it.
And aren't soldiers just assassins who work for governments?
The area near the life support plant on the crew deck
I
tends to be
mean-
slightly more arid than the rest
I
of
mean,
the
if you're
ship.
saying that an assassin is just a precise mercenary, then technically, any form of military is just mercenaries who happen to work for a government. And,
We need all the help we can get.
thus,
He's not what I
pot,
expected of an
meat,
assassin.
kettle.
He may surprise you.
I mean, you're the one who actually chose to work for terrorists, and are you doing it for free? And even if you are, isn't working for terrorists for free somehow worse than just getting paid by a government or some random person to do a single job?
Elegant and gorgeous. Too bad her manner is just so cold.
Is there anything I should know?
Nothing right now. Anything else, Commander?
That'll be all.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Oh, another dangerous alien aboard, Commander. Thanks. Why can't you collect coins or commemorative plates or something?
You did know this was the reason we went out here in the first place, don't you, Joker?
When it's listening.
I thought you had a brain stem. I guess I was wrong.
That's it for now.
Oh,
See you, Commander.
there's the reason. Now you talk
Do you need something?
to him.
Have a few minutes to talk.
Certainly. We haven't had a chance since I joined.
When we met you, you said you were dying.
Yes. I thought you'd want to know more.
Yeah, I probably should have asked that before bringing you on the ship with a recirculated air supply.
It's called
Just,
aweful syndrome.
well,
What exactly is the problem?
My people are native to an arid world. Most of us now live on Kaje, the Hanar homeworld. It's very humid and rains every day. Our lungs can't deal with the moisture.
and there weren't any other humid worlds you could move to?
It's harder to breathe. Eventually, we suffocate.
That doesn't sound like they saved you.
Can't they do something about that?
The Hanar have funded a genetic engineering program. They should be able to adapt us. The project has only been running for a few years. I don't believe my body will still draw breath by the time it bears fruit.
Are you going to be all right until the end of the mission?
I should be fine for another 8 to 12 months.
How?
The more time I spend in humid environments, the faster it
Well,
progresses. I think it's safe to say that by the time my body is incapacitated, we'll be victorious. Or dead. Either way, I won't be a burden to you.
yeah, because of where we're.
Is there anything we can do here? Normandy has a state-of-the-art medical bay.
No, thank you. It's being attended to. If the finest medical minds in the Hanar illuminated primacy can't solve the problem, I doubt your ship's medic could.
So why even try?
Trust me, this won't affect
What
my
did that
performance.
have? Wait, that seems stupid.
I'm surprised by Thane's spiritual side.
Why on earth would you? Why on earth would you?
Cold confidence. I'm not sure if I find him scary or sexy.
A lot of women like bad boys.
That is a dirty stereotype. In my case, it happens to be true, but still. Anyway, what's up?
Is there anything I should know?
Nothing
Keep
right
talking
now.
about
Anything else,
stereotypes, Little Miss Horny Pants.
That'll be
Who
all.
can't?
Take care.
I mean, really. I mean, you think again this would come into play somewhere in the future, but nope. Ah, I forgot about this.
Commander, sorry I'm a little unfocused. Personal matter. It won't affect my duties.
The yeoman said
Yeah, I
you wanted
really
to
hope
see
it doesn't affect your bathroom habits.
As I said, it's a personal matter. I don't want to waste our time.
Well, then why did you leave a message with the ship's counselor / answering machine?
listening.
The TNG episode. It was unconventional for that series, but I really liked it. I thought having a change of pace after the best of both worlds was what was needed. A chance to, as an audience member, working over, I always felt like I always found that and as a kid, I sort of found it interesting to see. So this is what the family of my heroes looks like. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Bad memories. It's an old, well-healed wound. But if he's actually alive and needs help, I also want to note that it's not normal procedure for distress calls to be routed to the Normandy.
Oh, good. So I'm not going to have to go on any of those types of missions like in the last game, where it seemed like every distress call in not only this universe, but every universe that ever existed could only come to the Normandy, and only the Normandy could respond to it. Good night.
I've had 10 years to get to where
I mean, chasing down monkeys on a planet. What kind of mission is that when the fate of the galaxy is depending on it? And as you can see, you get the briefing from Jacob on this long before this point in the game, as Shepard is still in that outfit, in this cutscene, in this conversation. But yeah, they won't talk to you until you complete their loyalty missions after they brief you, and they won't talk to you about anything but the briefing on the loyalty missions. So you get those a lot earlier, but I made the decision in editing to keep them in a separate folder and then move them in so that they come in just before, so that I drop them in when I got the chance to play the loyalty missions in the main game. That was recorded earlier, but put on here now. I think this is the last thing I did on this episode, which Jacob's loyalty mission, which is actually kind of interesting and adds a little much-needed depth to his character. At least it gives him a little more, I think, than So, yeah, you pretty much fight all robots here, except for a few biotics near the end. But there are a few crazy people you have to shoot first. So was this their subtle way of hinting that they wanted a Hugo Award? I mean, subtle. A science fiction game with a ship named the Hugo Gurns back. A Senimore? What does a Senimore? What? Is that a person or a thing? Or a... What's a Senimore? Please tell me there aren't people in the future named a Senimore. That sounds like a bad hand of Scrabble. But yeah, these log entries are kind of disturbing. Crew. Let me just say his replacements, that we can pretend there's any sort of mystery here. Instead of just using the person's name like everyone would do in real life. Have you ever heard somebody be that vague in real life when talking or writing something down? No, but it happens all the time in movies and games because, whoa, mystery! If you have to have the people not acting like people in order for there to be mystery, your mystery has failed. That actress who played Sarah Connor in the first two Terminator movies. What was her name? What was her name? I can't get IMDb out here, and it's really bugging me. I can't remember. Yeah, that's probably a sad. You know, the sad thing is they probably get better internet. They probably get better internet service out at this crash site than I do where I live.
Pause in beacon protocol. 8 years, 237 days.
Okay, why is the background passing through this guy?
Record deleted by acting.
I don't think I ever noticed that before, but a big corner of the background that's supposed to be behind this guy is actually clipping over his shoulder. And I know you're supposed to be able to see it through his shoulder, but no, it's actually a solid color going right through his shoulder. I can't believe I never noticed that before.
I assume unsafe deceleration refers to the crash.
I'm not trying to be nitpicky here or be mean to the programmers. I'm sure they did the best job they could in the time that they had. You know, I just find it funny that after all this time there was a little glitch there that I never noticed before.
Sustaining significant damage to investment and crew.
Why are you comparing the crash to theoretical speeds?
The Hugo Gernsback was constructed off-world. It is not rated for suborbital descent, and doing so exceeded operational parameters.
Who's in command of this ship? Where are the survivors?
Captain Harris Fairchild reported killed following unscheduled suborbital descent. First Officer Ronald Taylor promoted in-field to acting captain.
But where is
Please tell me this isn't the future of getting information from computers, because these things these see-through guys with their dead eyes and
why wasn't the beacon activated before now?
weird energy patterns on them and all that stuff. They really creep me out. I mean, look how dead that guy's eyes are. These VIs really creep me out. Because of that, it's just like
record deleted.
Local food impairs brain functions. What are the effects?
Well, you start watching a lot of The Big Bang Theory. Woo! Yeah, I went there. About 8 years after everybody else did. But still, for me, that's practically me. That's practically making a reference to something that happened yesterday. So you gotta give me that.
Come on, let's get going.
My father had a working beacon, but didn't signal for almost 9 years. Maybe that neural decay affected him.
Shouldn't eat local flora. Probably had no.
I wasn't going to. Thanks, Morden. I can see how you got your doctorate.
You came from the sky? The leader said someone would come. He delayed for so long, but he still has power. Some have lost faith.
You know,
they will have seen your star. They will not let
her dialogue, I can still make more sense of her dialogue than anything George Lucas has ever written.
I don't remember how to say it. He's our leader and we serve so we can go home. But
see? See, Lucas? That's called getting plot information out there and not telling people just to look it up on Wikipedia. Wikipedia, or whatever that idiotic pun is for the Star Wars Wikipedia. I shouldn't need to look it up online or read a dozen different novels just to make any sort of sense out of, and watch millions of cartoons to make any sort of sense out of a plot of your movie. You hear that? There's a person with a whose brain was impaired by alien food was just more intelligent, better at getting plot information to the audience than your characters.
Mental instability.
Yes, I'm assuming Lucas is watching this and he'll break down crying like a little girl after hearing that. Oh no, I don't want to see. Different kind of script. Although it's still not wearing any pants.
Is that a settlement? They better be friendlier than the beach group. I need answers.
So is that just what she does all day? Kneeling down like a quarterback on a timeout on top of a giant plastic container?
Same uniform remnants as those who attacked, however.
Yeah, that's because they're pretty much just reusing the same character model over and over again. Saves on disk space.
Previous females said hunters were
Although when the game ends up taking up about 20 gigabytes of my disk space, I have to wonder, what's the point of doing things to save on disk space at that point? Just put a third disk on there. And all wear the same uniform at that point.
You are cursed with his face.
Just say it,
Not the best reaction to the family resemblance, Jacob.
Why would my father force his crew to eat toxic food? Whatever's happening here, look at these spoiled food stores.
They've been wasting food. Don't they know there are starving kids in Japan?
What the hell? Somebody had to push them to make that. That's borderline worship.
Of what exactly? What is that supposed to... What is that modern art nightmare supposed to be? I want to know.
Your captain demands obedience.
Change ammo type. So did he actually reprogram the...
that condones crew suppression via lethal force.
Well, that would make them hate him. Maybe it was just for defense.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that, Jacob. Keep paddling up the denial. Denial there in your little boat.
You might stop this. This, I forget how to read, but this was the start. What he promised and what they did to us. We need the sky. Take us back to the
We
sky.
need Sesame Street bad at this point.
What does it say?
It's bad at this
It's a
point.
crew logbook. Some of them thought the beacon repair was taking too long.
So they hired an outside contractor, they botched the job, and it ended up taking them even longer. Plus, they had to wait for the parts to ship from across the country because there aren't any computer part supply stores anywhere in their state anymore. So even the tiniest little part has to be shipped from Taiwan.
Material and it got to it. Couldn't keep the crew in line without violence.
Wait. I'm sorry. I think I stopped talking about the game there for a few seconds. Sorry.
They separated out the women, assigned them to officers like pets. And after the beacon is fixed,
Are pets normally assigned to officers on ships?
father took control and didn't stop it.
I did not know that. So, are our modern day naval vessels stuffed to the brim with cats, hamsters, and dogs, or something like that? Because every officer gets assigned a pet.
About a month after the beacon was repaired.
Anything in there about whether the effects of the toxic food can be treated?
Nothing. But it seems like the right call.
Not to treat it.
If everyone gets
Yeah,
it,
who
those
cares?
later fixed the
Yeah.
beacon, you'd never get out. But they did fix it. And the signal wasn't sent until now. I'm starting to see why.
Does it say why he separated the men and the women? Or is it as bad as it seems?
It definitely seems kind of pretty bad there.
Maybe the men got violent early on, but from the state of this
Yeah.
place, I'd say the hunter thing is recent. What he
What?
allowed here, Shepard.
Yeah.
Any justification.
It's looking like he only activated the beacon because the men have come back ready to fight.
Yep, they got back from whooping the Germans and the Japs, and they're here to fight. Fight. So yeah, you have to hack them back to get it to blow up, and then you get to the walk. How stupid do you think I am? You left logbooks with what really happened lying all over the place, you idiot. Why do villains always keep detailed logs of how they went evil in fiction? I mean, really. If I was going to go evil and I might need to cover my backside at some point, you know, if anybody else came across it or came across me or something went wrong, then I just wouldn't keep records of my being evil, you know? I just wouldn't write it down. None of these other people are smart enough to keep a record, so it had to be him.
You're done.
Yep, you sure are. I love that freeze power. Morden doesn't use it nearly enough for my taste. I love watching watching enemies fall apart like the T-1000 in Terminator 2. Yeah, there are mechs everywhere. Good night. For what wasn't a military ship, they sure had a lot of mechs and guns on it. Exactly how many in the Mass Effect universe, exactly how many guns do you have to have on your ship before it counts as a military ship? And the fact that the second in command wasn't qualified to command in an emergency, that just scares me. I mean, look at all this. What's a billion? Good night. I've seen westerns where the characters had fewer guns. This will, yeah, that's what I get for collecting a power-up while still under attack. Because I forgot it was, because I actually forgot that was there and just swat it. There we go. Yeah, playing God isn't fun anymore. I want to go home. Oh, that one was just floating in the air. That's pretty hilarious. You know what's even more hilarious? My awful aim. Good night. I wish my hand would stay still. Okay, that's funny. The way it is, two mechs just fell over. And yeah, of course, like everywhere else, they have one of these super killer mechs. Who keeps letting private citizens have super killer mechs that can level entire countries? It's like Iron Man times 10. Stop giving these to people. I'm sick of fighting them. And he somehow has a... And yet some of the guys he was somehow able to train as engineers. Really? Well, let's see how you like a collector beam rifle. Ah, not so tough now, are ya? And by this point, I'm just sick. So I'm just sick of battling these guys. So I'm just shooting them with the with my heavy weapon for no reason other than I'm sick of dealing with minions. Well, this guy's minions. Although I'm also kind of sick of seeing the minions from what's that movie? You know what? I don't even remember the name of the movie those things originally came from. They've just been so overly marketed since then, and I can remember. Yeah, why do they get credited as some sort of original creation? They're just Twinkies with legs that babble non-English insanely. That's not that original a creation.
Nice when we get back to a
Every
space.
5-year-old has drawn one of those.
What about your crew, acting captain?
And somebody got...
Total loss.
So, random woman who didn't have a brain could recognize that this guy was, Jacob was this guy's son. And yet, he can't? Wow. Not only does he play God badly, but he's one of the dumbest people I've ever seen.
I believe you're acquainted with Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, he is completely irredeemable. Just listen to some of this garbage.
Would 10 years of this look better to anyone else in the galaxy? You have to understand, this isn't me. The realities of command, they change you.
This is actually my clone double thing from the Prestige, whatever that was. Oh, sorry if I just ruined the Prestige for you. But it's been out for a decade, and it still was a really good movie, despite that weird ending that I'm not even... The movie seemed to be trying to make some sort of point up to that point, and then at the end I'm like, okay, what exactly was going on?
Some even seemed happier. Ignorance is bliss, right? And they were grateful for guidance.
That was the closest, before Interstellar, that was the closest I ever got to being disappointed by the end of a Christopher Nolan movie. Then they had to release Interstellar. Proof that everybody needs a script editor at some point.
After a while, the perks seemed normal.
Even the Nolan brothers, they needed a script editor when they worked on that one.
I can't point to where it all went wrong.
A juvenile fantasy. That's exactly how I feel about the ending of Interstellar. You can't go to all this trouble to establish that things are working by real-world physics and then just throw them out the window in the last half hour of the movie because of love. If you want the laws of time and space to answer to the power of love, then you have to don't establish that the laws of time and space are hard, unbreakable things in the first 2 hours of your movie. Huh. You got 2 videos here. I guess I won't bother with a review of I guess I won't bother reviewing Interstellar, which, if you don't realize, I only just saw for the first time on home video recently. I was looking forward to seeing it in theaters, but I just didn't have any money last year, and I haven't had any money for, a long time. So I didn't get a chance to see it until the local library got a copy of it on DVD. So, yeah. And now I don't have any plans on ever seeing it again. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's the only Nolan movie I've seen so far where I'd rate it below average. 4.5 out of 10. All because of that ending. And the scenes that they ripped off beat for beat from the Jim Caviezel movie Frequency. Which is odd, considering that Jim Caviezel is in Jonathan Nolan's series. Was it Jim Caviezel? I'm pretty sure he was in that movie Frequency with the time traveling radio thing.
Help these people. Cerberus can have ships here in days and pull everyone out.
He's not worth the fuel to haul him out or the air he's breathing.
Yeah, you're right about that, Jacob. But yeah, 4.5 out of 10. Maybe if you saw it in IMAX, it would be more impressive, but watching it on home video where you're being asked to think about the ideas that it's advancing, garbage. Well shot garbage, but garbage.
Intention's easy to predict, just
yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what they'll do to you. That's why I'm leaving here.
Good man. Wish I'd found him. Jacob.
I have no father! I have no father! It's the reverse jazz singer effect. Haha! Eat it! Just eat it. Eat it. Don't you make me repeat.
Don't even give him the taillights.
Wait, we have taillights? Why would we need those? Do they think we might... Did Cerberus think we might need to signal a turn at some point?
If I had leaked the information about the Gernsback, I would be smiling at your resolution of the situation. I am not smiling.
Yeah,
really?
I don't imagine you smiling ever, so, I don't...
Don't presume to understand my intentions. Cerberus is ultimately about humanity. My people are valuable to me.
Fine, you didn't forward it, so who did?
Yeah, as we'll see demonstrated in the next game. Your people, I've seen, and in the last game where all those where you did all those unholy experiments that got loose and you didn't seem to care. Yeah, I've seen how important your people are to you, Mr. Elusive Man.
We'll discuss your liberal interpretation of security protocol in private.
Cerberus has security protocol. This is the first I've heard of it.
You had no idea Miranda was behind this?
No, she's got a good memory. Selective, but good. I haven't thought about those days in a long time. Can't figure which promise she meant, though. Not sure I really wanted it.
Really? I'm pretty sure I can predict exactly how the conversation went down. She promised that if you came on board and helped her on that mission you talked about earlier, that she'd do everything to find out what happened to your father.
We've got work to do.
Although she could have just put forward from Miranda in the message.
Anytime, Jacob.
So she wasn't actually messing with his head. Woo! I'm at the end. And the next episode is even longer. Are you looking forward to that? Oh, the only good news is that after the next episode, it's all downhill. So, see you then. Bye.